Scotland is one of the richest countries in the world. Yet, 1 in 4 of our children are living in poverty. People are made to feel that it is their fault that they are poor, when in fact, poverty is structural, built into the fabric of our economic system. The challenges facing families living in poverty in Perth and Kinross are not of their own making. Unemployment, underemployment, and low pay are key drivers of poverty. We have a low-wage economy built on tourism, hospitality, and catering. It is seasonal and many are on 0 hours contract. There are simply not enough jobs to go round. Families who were comfortably off before COVID-19 struck are now experiencing real financial stress. Having no savings, struggling to pay for food, being in arrears with mortgage, rent payments or other bills causes a huge amount of worry and concern.
After the COVID lockdown, I've had to refer more people to the food bank than I've ever had previously. And people who perhaps have just fallen into that level where they're struggling and they can't manage now, they've been furloughed or lost their job, things like this.
We know that more children in Perth and Kinross will be living in poverty as a result of COVID. Many families will be experiencing poverty for the first time.
A lot of these families we see are trapped by low wages and increasing rents and an unforgiving benefit system, leaving some parents having to choose between paying a bill or buying winter clothing for their children and having to rely heavily on food banks to be able to afford their heating bills.
Unfortunately, poverty is something I come across frequently with the families I work with, and it can have a huge impact on the families. It's a whole spectrum really, from not having any extra after buying the essentials to not even having enough to buy the essentials. When I arrive, if there's no food in the house, then that's the focus of the visit has to turn to that. That's essential. Immediate crisis has to be dealt with before we can focus on the child's needs. One example as well of poverty which really stood out for me was a family I was visiting. I hadn't seen them for a wee while for various reasons, and when I arrived, the mother had noticeably lost weight. It was obvious, and she'd not had enough money to buy food, and she'd been too embarrassed to tell anyone to ask for help. Her child was fine. She'd made sure that her child had enough, but she herself hadn't had enough to eat.
At Perth and Kinross, we're helping families to tackle poverty in 4 ways: increasing income from employment, reducing the cost of living, increasing income from social security and other benefits, and breaking the cycle of poverty.
We work with local employers to help them upskill individuals, to help them progress individuals through a skills program to help them reach more skilled, better paid, and more sustainable employment. Clients with multiple barriers to employment will engage with a key worker, and under the right circumstances will move on to an accredited skills program. This will allow them to gain vital skills and accreditations to move into particular industries, and as part of that program we will be engaging with employers to make sure that there are good quality jobs that come at the other end of it.
Perth and Kinross Council is doing all that it can to reduce the cost of living for families, from delivering affordable rents to our Sustaining Tenancies Fund, starter packs for families moving into a new home, and help with fuel poverty. We are all in to help families make their funds go further.
I spoke to one of my clients recently who said that she often She would often go without meals, putting the money in a prepayment meter to heat her home. She had £35 a month spare to buy food from her local shop. One of our advisors carried out a benefit check. This identified entitlement to the new Scottish Child Payment, the warm home discount to help with heating costs, a school clothing grant and a better energy deal, saving around £940 a year. The advisor also provided information about the advantages of working, earning up to £292 a month before her universal credit would be affected, and of the free childcare available for a 3-year-old child and childcare costs of up to 85% that would be included as part of her universal credit payment for her 5-year-old child.